I've never felt a more consistent brake than this. It's genuinely insane.
Man, I used to think load cell was the best thing in sim racing. But
Definitely, 100%. Like Kireth just said, if you're an expo or convention, definitely give it a try.
this has like exposed the weaknesses of a load cell for me.
Okay, here we go. First race on the Simucube active pedals. We put them on the GC Mega Prime, and I'm very excited for this. I'm just going to. This is literally the first drive. I'm here with Nathan Maxman,
I'm
Sam,
jealous, to be honest.
Sam as well. Everyone's going to have a go. Remember, fourth. Oh my goodness me!
He's still locked up. I thought that wouldn't be possible with these pedals.
Oh. This is a different level of the throttle's like the brake is different gravy.
Yeah.
It's just it's almost like being 3D.
3D. Oh, okay, so it kind of feels like you're on like a bubble type.
Oh,
Yeah, that's fair.
Clearly,
push it.
Maybe it's pressing the brake.
was I resting on the brake there?
No.
Let
Cool,
me.
what happened?
Hang on.
Do you mean to do it here?
No, I got it. I'll just keep
Do you
it.
want to restart?
No, I'll just. Actually, yeah, sorry.
Reset previous.
You need to do it not on that screen. You need to drag the mouse over there.
There you go.
Sorry. You got such a sensitive mouse.
Yeah. I'm not going to edit out the crash because that's fun. Okay, I just crashed, but it feels like a 3D pedal basically, so it's hard to explain. But you guys are going to see as well. It's like there's so much information where you are on the brake pedal basically. Like, I feel like you can go into the lockup and then come out. But I mean, proof will be in the pudding, basically.
It's weird.
Oh my god. Oh.
Flipping hell, mate.
Hang on. I might need to be on my own. But even there, coming in there, like, I could just feel like the lockup a little bit, which is, for me is quite difficult to hold it.
It's weird seeing the backs moving so much. If you
What do you
watch
mean?
it, well, you can really see how much he's feathering it and stuff.
Yeah.
Like the actual seeing the whole pedal moving at the end. Normally, you only see the tilt, not the whole lot of lean backwards and forwards.
It
Especially on the
accentuates
throttle.
sort of like the movement on it.
Yeah, especially on the throttle.
I've never felt a more consistent brake than this. It's genuinely insane.
Did you say you saw the silver bit
Yeah.
flexing?
Oh, well, I thought I did. I might have been wrong. There might have been some of that active stuff.
I'm not feeling. We didn't put any ABS or stuff on, did we?
No.
I don't
Yeah,
think
there's-
there's any. Oh yeah, no, you haven't.
So
But this car doesn't have ABS anyway.
yeah, that's true. There's no vibration or anything in the braking zone. It's like just very, very, very true. And I feel like it's different to an elastometer where you're compressing an elastometer
Yeah.
and you're sort of like springing it up, sort of thing. And you feel it like it's like kind of condensing like that, like squeezing
Yeah.
in.
Yeah.
This doesn't feel like you're squeezing anything. It just feels like very consistent pressure, which might be how you're seeing that. I feel like I'm really able to keep like a very consistent pressure.
Yeah, the thing about the load cell, especially with my rig at home, I've got a bit of flex in my seat, as well as the load cell, as well as the elastometers. So the elastometers are rubber, and then you got the load cell as well, then the flex in the seat. It's a lot of different things to consider when it comes to getting that correct pressure in the brake pedal. So for me, I have to consider how much force I'm putting into my back, how much force I'm putting into my leg, and then the squeeginess of the elastometer, all, you know, affecting the load cell in its own different way. So I can imagine that
Now, this brake
this
feels
reads
like
the pressure a lot better.
it feels like a very sensitive instrument. That's like
It does look very, very smooth.
I feel like I need to explain this. It's like, you know, when on an elastometer, you need to actually keep applying more pressure to get a little bit more.
Yeah.
Because it's getting harder to squeeze. You don't have this at all on this. Like, I'm trying to think whether that's realistic or not in terms of the way brakes work and like you know, the brake disc and the pads.
From what I remember in the Radical, I never had to feel like I had to press the pedal more. If that makes sense.
Because your feet are just feeling that bite. That
Yeah,
sort of-
like you're just, your foot is somehow connected to.
I'll do one more lap and let's see if we catch up with those people. But I feel like, yeah, here you can actually, because normally when you're sim racing, saying something like Gran Turismo, it's like how late can I brake, and that's the thing, that's the skill, like how, and you can work it out. Here it's how late, where can I brake, and at what level should I be keeping that threshold in what car. I don't know if I slam on the brakes and then try and come off it a little bit. I think maybe things are at temperature now, I can hit the brakes a lot harder.
I suspect with this kind of setup, it would be easy to trail brake as well.
If you've got
Yeah,
more
I think it's just
consistent
going to be,
braking.
again, you're not loading anything because have you pressed it? And
That's what I mean. It would be easier to trail brake because it's more consistent. You'll know when you're kind of like dragging it.
Yeah. See if I try and do some late moves. Oh. It's definitely not like it. It's not gimmicky. It's not like, oh, I can feel this thing, and like as I hit the threshold point, I get like a vibration that changes. It just feels very, very, very accurate, and it's taking like the squeezing out of it. I don't feel like I'm squeezing something, like squeezing a stress ball.
Mm-hmm.
With it being so electrical, can you feel like the finer details of like the vibrations and stuff?
Not really. No, definitely not. I imagine there's settings that we could do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine you can set a lot of different like rumble levels, and I'd be interested to know what the G-force levels feel like.
Yeah. I think ABS in the GT3 would be interesting, and we'll do that. Well, let me just see. Try and
I'll break him.
yeah.
Oh, easy.
It just feels so like refined.
Yeah.
I'll jump out. Like, even just. Okay, it's just so it's going to be hard to translate into a video.
Mm.
I think Nathan, if you jump in, because with like your radical
restart?
stuff recently, it'd be interesting to see.
What are these? F4? Apparently the F4s are most like the radicals.
Oh really?
Yeah. Apparently the radicals in iRacing are just rubbish.
They are.
The throttle was absolutely fine, by the way. Like at the beginning, I was like, "Oh, this is very short."
I probably want to sit a bit closer. That's good. That's lovely.
Yeah, it's weird watching how much movement there is at the end.
Yeah. Turns a small.
There's a bit of
movement.
weight to the throttle pedal. Feels like a bit too much weight.
I think I didn't. In the end, I didn't notice it.
So watch me like feathers this brake. Normally you only see like toes move, but you can actually see a whole lot move. See what I mean? Whereas the normal pedal, you wouldn't see that.
Yeah, yeah. And I think if you're coaching someone, you might be like, "Oh, you can really," or you notice it anyway to link to it. But
Yeah.
What do you think, Nathan?
Oh
That's a PlayStation move.
I don't think I've had long enough yet to form an opinion.
Yes, right.
Very consistent. As in the force that you're getting back off the pedal is very consistent. Yeah, incredibly consistent.
Because is it technically a load cell, like, or is it different technology?
I mean,
For
I
me,
would assume it's got to be classed as load cell somehow.
because it's pressure.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's a different class to elastometers.
I mean, we haven't looked into it too much, but what's that actual wire do?
Well, I don't know. I don't know why there's a wire that needs to come out of the top, per se.
Yeah.
They feel incredibly solid.
Yeah, so what is that actual wire for?
No, I mean, it looks good.
I can tell that it's going to be very, very easy to do like an endurance race with these.
Oh, yeah, like
Because-
Daytona Turn 1.
Yeah, they just feel so solid. Like, I know once I pressed it once,
It's going to be the same.
my muscle memory it just feels like I just know exactly what pressure I want.
But I don't think it's like it's like, oh wow, it's pulsating. Or probably you can do that, but it's just you go on the brake and it feels the same as a good load cell brake. But then you go on it again, you're like, oh, it's exactly the same. You go on it again, exactly the same.
That's nice.
And then you like, I want to apply a little bit more pressure. And it's like, oh, it's just a little bit more. It hasn't just shot up, or like, you know that thing about when you unload the spongy load cells, you're squeezing it and it's bars like sort of
It keeps
springing up.
spiking.
Yeah. Spiking. Yeah, I don't think you get
Yeah.
any spiking on this.
Okay, I mean, obviously the conditions will alter
You know what?
the load cell as well.
Yeah.
You know what's great about these? I can push the pedal hard. It doesn't spike up to 100 and then immediately drop a little bit.
That's it.
Like the load cell does. The load cell, you can put all that force through a load cell with the elastometers, and it will spike up to 100%, but then almost immediately it will drop down to like 90 or 80 just because of the flex of the elastometer.
Yeah.
Whereas this one, you push it hard and it stays where you pushed it.
It doesn't spike.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You just listen to what we said.
Sorry?
No, we're saying it. It's like even when I was driving, I
Was
wasn't.
that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
I didn't-
I know.
Even when I was driving, I wasn't locking up.
Yeah.
And normally driving this car, I would lock up a knot because an elastometer you spike into it and then you come off. But when you've locked up in the car, it's not binary. Whereas here, you're just less likely to go into that zone.
But this guy is a bit eager. Know me.
So let's have a look into this chicane. Like, does it spike or does it stay?
So I'm going to press the brake a bit harder from now on. As in when I need to. So there I got it to, I think I just got it to 100,
Yeah.
but it was very easy to then modulate it back down to about
Not a while.
90,
Yeah, but
85.
Yeah, because he didn't drop down, then back up, and then down again.
There still was a bit of a, because I think he was trying to hit it hard, but like that one, he came in at 100, 90, 80.
Yeah.
I think what would be interesting is to put this on the V-Box telemetry.
It's confidence inspiring as well. Because you're not getting the unpredictability of a load cell. To be honest, I used to think load cell was the best thing in sim racing. Oh flip, I wasn't even looking.
That's the esports line.
I used to think,
But do you think you could go back? I know you but like knowing this technology exists, it now shows that there's another. It's like direct drive versus. It is another class of.
Yeah.
yeah, it's the equivalent of a step up into direct drive, but for pedals. Yeah, it's very confidence inspiring because you're not getting unpredictability like you do from a load cell. You're getting very predictable, consistent braking. And the fact you're able to configure that, from what we've seen so far with everything you're able to configure, to have a level of consistency with your preferences is what makes it very, very special, I think.
Yeah. think it's a bit more. It's super rewarding in the braking zone. If you're like, I'm not spiking it. Like that's what I want to be.
Yeah.
Like, and that's my threshold.
Yeah, do you know what? I can see how you can get very, very consistently fast with these.
I mean that braking there, he's
Just
already
stayed the
like,
same the whole way.
I'll try a nice hard one at the end of here. I think the tyres are pretty warm now. I'll brake a bit earlier, but I'll brake hard. Yeah. So I was able to hold that about 90%.
Yeah.
And it was effortless.
It's funny because this car is so easy to lock up normally. And
It is. And I haven't actually
Should
locked
try
it
the
up yet.
Porsche Cup.
we'll try.
Okay.
It's like got ABS as well. Or?
It's got no ABS, so you'd know if you're locked up.
I mean, that's where I don't want to get too like, oh, this will make you faster. But that's where in those sort of races it could actually be.
No, but do you know what? To be consistently more confident,
Yeah.
to manipulate the car the way you want to, will make you faster. So I know it always sounds like a silly thing to say that this will make you faster, but as long as you use it in the right way, it actually will.
Yeah.
If not, faster, at least more consistent.
If you approach it in the right way, like
Yeah.
if you were approaching
you
the
have to
braking
use it
zone.
correct. It's not like it's a cheat. You have to be able to know how to use it. It definitely will make you faster. You know how to use it in the right way.
Yeah, if you know every braking zone, know your markers, like push it.
Yeah.
But you know what I said, 3D. The
Yeah.
3D for me is like it's not just where am I braking, but it's really what is the pressure in the braking zone.
Yeah, my muscle memory is completely adapted to this already.
Is that lit up? No, that's not from the monitor, isn't it? That's-
Yeah. Or the from the monitor.
I just started to feel a bit of a lock up there,
Yeah.
but again, it wasn't over the limit.
And that's with no sort of gimmicks running yet. Like all this ABS and TC, it might add stuff, it might not. We'll compare it with V3s.
I'm gonna try a nice, well, I can't try too hard. So.
Put them in the
I'm gonna go for a hard one here.
Oh.
I think that may have locked up the rears. That guy put himself in the wall. Pushing a bit too hard now.
Do you want to try Porsche Cup?
Yeah, try.
No, I want to try that.
Okay. Let's see
I
this.
want to try that. There you go.
It was interesting to see how you realised that I could actually just hit this
Yeah.
and it's not going to
Yeah,
spike or like
yeah.
wobble.
Man, I used to think load cell was the best thing in sim racing, but this is.
But for me at the beginning, my first corner, it wasn't like, oh, there's an obvious answer here.
Yeah.
It's like after the first lap, it's like, oh, hang on.
Yeah.
I feel so much more confident.
Yeah, like we're onto something.
Yeah. So you've also driven a Radical in real life as
Yeah.
well. So it'd be interesting to see how this compares.
So I'll bin it on the first corner.
Don't worry, I did that twice. I think also when you're driving cars in real life, you know, in the first lap you come into your braking zone, it is kind of, some people are like a bit, but generally it's kind of quite progressive. Do you know what I mean? Because you're really thinking about, for me anyway, I want to be progressive in this braking zone. You think turn one in classic sims, like stop, wait, all this kind of stuff. you still got 4 wheels?
I've got wheel damage for it.
Oh,
Should we reset it?
it's a meatball flag.
What do you
think
it's
so
mad.
far?
Like you can literally feel it like, straight away. And I get what you were saying earlier. Like it is just a constant. It doesn't like spike, drop. You can regulate it so easily.
I feel like in
is
elastometer sometimes a little bit more pressure. It's just like,
Yeah.
and then it's just, I think it was second guessing not lifting off pressure.
And then also, I almost got to a point that when it's hot, obviously the metal in like a normal load cell might be different compound, or the foam in the Fanatec's might get a bit softer. Where obviously this all being electrical.
Yeah, even the
That
stuff
shouldn't
like the initial bit and the end bit in the Fanatec, we're using the spongy bit at
Yeah.
the beginning, right? Which is again, you're squeezing it. Oh, it moves. Oh. This is a 60 car grid.
60.
Yeah, 60.
I thought I kept seeing cars in front of me, no matter how many overtakes I was making.
This makes me want to time trial. Like, I just know.
Yeah, because you know you'll be consistent. Oh.
Deal with that. Clear.
That's all right. We're good. I've got wheel damage. No worries.
Okay.
Is it as bad?
Is it a meatball?
No.
Ah.
I don't worry about it. Just wait till my wheel falls off. Corner.
I just feel like I would lock up more in this car. Like, I've driven these cars a lot at Brands Hatch, and like when I go into Druids, I'm just like, pfft.
100%. I
Yeah.
know for a fact I would be locking up way more.
And I wonder if it's because of that spike. I'm just theorising, but
Yeah, the initial where you think, okay, I'm gonna slam it a little bit, but only to about 90. As in, I'm gonna press it very quickly, but to 90. But the load cell has registered that as 100, and then the flex starts to come into
yeah.
play.
And
brings it
just
back.
lack of it, yeah.
Yeah, you're not getting any of that spike.
And I feel like almost like here you can actually push it up.
Yeah,
You can push it up a little bit.
Yeah. Even if you were to slam this one, if you slam it and think, I want to slam this to 90, it goes to 90. It doesn't spike to 100 then back down to 90.
Yeah.
Because many of the telemetry maps that I've seen, of ones that I've done and ones that we've done here with the load cells, I always go to 100 first and then like back down to 90.
Yeah, we see that graph.
So
we see that graph.
it'll go up to 90 at 100, come back down a tiny bit,
Plateau a little bit.
and then it'll level out about 90 for a fraction of a second,
You're right, locked up.
and then start to go down.
Your graph was more like up to 100, then spike a little bit, comes here, and then it comes off. Whereas my graph was slower up and sort of slower down.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like your graph on these, if we had the feedbots running, would be more not to 100 but more to 90, where you want it just flat, and then when you're on,
Yeah,
more
it
like
would be,
off. Like,
Now I see how some guys' pedal telemetry is so smooth.
but not a lot of people are using these. Like, it's just not a lot. But I think people probably, if you're an esports driver, you're taking really good care of your.
Yeah, I think. Do you know what else I was considering for my V3? The damper kit.
That red thing.
It just because it just stops that initial spike, if that makes sense. You can still press it as hard as.
Oh, it damps it at the end of it like that.
It damps the whole thing.
Okay.
You can still press it as hard and as fast as you want to, but I think that will eliminate the
That's a
spike
lovely
to
move.
100.
Oh, I said it was a lovely move. Sam, I want to put you in this Porsche Cup. That's apparently lethal. I do normally. I think it's for VRS though, but this will be interesting.
The quick start is
I just want to do a whole rolling up lap.
Yeah, that's fair. Although I think Fuji's not a whole lot. Nürburgring would have been good.
Yeah. Big old breakers. It's about 23 positions gained, I reckon. Take the slow down. I think where we haven't really tried it yet, I don't think Gilvino was the right track, but also where you just want this corner normally at Fuji, right? Just that little bit of brake. Hit that, hit that apex. Because in that corner in Gran Turismo, you know, with the track limits on the outside, I'm so inconsistent.
I normally lock up in this corner that's gone around there. That's normally my main lock up spot.
Because you got a bit of turning in there as well.
Yeah. Sorry, I don't know if you were talking.
No. Oh, chopping him out. Yeah.
I don't think I've ever driven this layout of Fuji.
Do you not this layout? I hate
on
this.
iRacing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, iRacing, it's normally no chicane, isn't it?
Yeah. I did my first wet race at Fuji.
Oh, really? In what?
The GT3s.
Was it a sprint?
It was a 35-minute race, I think, or 40 minutes, something like that. No, I can't remember.
Was it a multi-class?
Yeah, it was actually.
That's something interesting, by the way. Any sense? I don't know if that's going to get gimmicky, but in wet, like aquaplaning, and I don't know.
That's interesting. The wet. That's what you should have.
Because
it's
the
quite easy to
pedal
lock
would
up
just
in
go
the wet.
further and nothing would happen, right?
I locked up just at the very end of that.
That's it.
Yeah, no, the brakes, unreal.
Yeah.
Just constant, literally as we've been saying.
And we're only scratching the surface, because on a Formula car you could have a really short brake.
Yeah.
On a GT you could have a longer brake, and just have these in the profiles and have them on the stream deck or on the wheel or whatever. So it's just because of what they've done, the customization is sort of endless. Oh.
These LMP drivers don't like to give room, do they? They will just chop your nose off.
Fiercest class. And I reckon you could get all sorts through the throttle pedal if you want, like hybrid delivery and stuff like that, and just get a bit of vibration if you want.
Yeah, I mean,
I reckon.
I've not driven a hybrid car in my life on the road or anything.
Prius.
I've never driven a Prius. But do you think when actually battery mode does kick in on real cars?
I'm thinking about your G-force thing. I don't know. Feels like you wouldn't want the throttle moving.
So,
Yeah.
I'm thinking hybrid. Like you could do the throttle. We haven't done anything with the throttle really.
Nothing at all.
You could do stuff. Oh, you got wheel damage.
no, I was just putting over for someone else to go.
I'll jump in then. I really don't like Fuji, but it'll be
You'll probably like it after these.
yeah, it'll be a pleasure.
Probably won't ever lock up again in that final sector.
Grab that drink. Sorry, can I just grab my phone?
Sometimes my least favourite tracks become my favourite tracks, and I need to smash it.
Where's your...
They sound like angry bees. Oh, I'm just.
That's not my drink. That one's not been opened. No, that's...
I just love this. Oh no!
Jump start already?
You're a jump start.
Yeah.
You said that a while ago. How
so
early
excited.
did you do that?
Quite
You do that on the red light?
yeah. My dreams of becoming an LMP2 driver.
Don't worry, you got enough.
I just absolutely love
You
this.
got enough speed in that brake pedal to make it all up again.
Get out of the way.
Bullying his way through.
This is so much fun. This is This is just ridiculous.
It's a bit more of an immersive experience.
yeah. Oh my god. I think people have to try this basically, like at Expo or whatever.
It's very difficult to explain.
Yeah, like definitely 100%. Like Kireth just said, if you're in an expo or convention, definitely give it a try because the average person's not going to be able to get this pedal.
360 yellow it.
No scope.
Yellow it. Yes. And again. There's a lot of traffic at Fuji this time of day, isn't there? It's just, honestly, it just feels like there's no... I didn't even appreciate there was some kind of like, not randomization or like lumpiness or whatever in a load cell, but here it's just gone.
Yeah. Whatever imperfections the load cell had, you know, and like I just said, I thought load cell was the best thing ever. But this has like exposed the weaknesses of a load cell for me.
Which must be the elastometers, right? That just must be it.
Yeah, it must be it. It must be it. Unless my load cell needs changing, but even then it's like...
Because it's the resistance on the brake, is the pads, right?
Yeah.
It's the pads on the disc.
Yeah.
And there's a sort of like graininess here, like in the pedal, like a fine graininess as well.
Do you reckon that's trying to mimic pads on a disc?
I don't know, because the throttle also has some graininess.
Right, okay.
So I don't know whether it's just in the pedals.
Yeah, I thought that was in the pedal. You know when you're pushing it downstairs, you could feel something like that. He's like,
You can hear it as well,
it feels like it needs oil on it.
So I'll be honest, the Radicals didn't have any pressure on the throttle pedal, but these, what was it, like 5 kg
Yeah.
on the throttle? I think it's a bit heavy, but I'm sure it's something that we can adjust.
You've got to remember also, like in a real car, you've got more sensations, whereas in a sim, you might want to just feel it a bit more, like have a little bit more resistance.
Yeah, it's true.
But I don't know. Oh, it's just.
It's confidence inspiring.
It is, yeah.
I mean, granted, I crashed, but none of us have outbraked ourselves for corners. Which
did
is usually...
when I wasn't living.
No, but I mean, sorry, yeah, that. But usually I would outbrake myself for Fuji.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
I think you can still outbrake yourself, but it's more.
Yeah, but normally I outbrake myself because I've locked up and I've disappeared into
that's-
distance.
You can have the confidence. Like some of these AI are not particularly high level, right? They're braking very early, but you have the confidence to. I think we've all done. You brake into turn one where you're in a brake, not lock up, and you see the difference.
Yeah, it's almost like you brake as if you normally would, not lock up and then brake again. You know what I mean? You kind of like roll it on even more, and then that means the next step you already know that you can brake later than you already were.
Oh, yes.
Obviously. Was that the 100? Was that the 100 boards I was watching?
I think it's corners like this where it's going to be so key, isn't it?
Yeah, to get that trail braking right.
Yeah. I'll jump out, Nathan. You have
It feels like it's like when it comes to trail braking, it just feels like it's something that will be easy to make consistent.
Confidence to sort of that'll be interesting.
Is that the worst start out of all of us?
No.
That was the slowest start ever.
So when I drove the Ferrari 488 GT3 in America, I spun twice, but I actually spun on throttle, didn't spin on braking, and I wonder in sims it's easier to spin on braking.
Yeah, I'd definitely 100% say that it would be easier to spin on braking than Sims.
Whereas in the car it's actually quite difficult to
Yeah, because obviously with being in real life, obviously the throttle, you feel it in your butt a lot more, don't you? So you can control it under braking, but then the throttle you can get. Where are you going, Nathan?
You press it and you got a bit of lock, and before
Yeah.
you know it, you're gone.
As much as the Sims want to be realistic, there still will be a little bit of genuine.
Because you don't have that
Oh,
penalty of
these
like
AI
having a
is
little bit
mad.
of steering. That's something I noticed. I was on a motion rig recently
What are these guys doing?
in ACC at Silverstone, and going into the breakers in ACC, slam it on,
Yeah.
rear end lifts up. And you're like, oh, we're going to hold this wheel a bit straighter. Whereas if you've got no motion, which you don't most of the time, you're just like, oh, I'll put a little bit of steering in, and suddenly the tyres are doing a bit too much.
Yeah. Nathan's got beef with the AI.
Got to be a big one here.
At least 3 cars.
Yeah, that purple one is. Oh, okay. That was a big contact, wasn't it?
Sorry.
The wing mirrors come off.
It's proper realism.
Yeah, the rig just starts disintegrating. It's don't worry.
Comes here.
Yeah, it's very, very consistent. You can hold it at a pressure and say to yourself, okay, is this gonna work? And when it does work, you know, okay, I'll try a little bit more pressure next time. Which I suppose you could say for load cell, but you'll get to a point where load cell will start letting you down with that spike.
Just a little.
Whereas
Yeah,
this one will stay consistent as you try to progress, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. Bring it.
How did that even fall out? I thought that was
I probably didn't
secure.
I think Sam got that bit, didn't you?
Me? What?
I think that what you're saying there, Nathan, is like as you progress, sometimes you might get a little bit of a spike. You're like, okay, that's too much.
Yeah, as you progress an experiment of a load cell, you'll end up getting a spike, and the downside of the load cell will start letting you down as you get to that, you know, that last, you know, when you're fighting for those last tenths of a second in the lap. The load cell will start letting you down, whereas this will stay consistent with you as you improve.
In fact, do you remember, Nathan, last time round on the CRP2s, we changed the curve. We changed the curve.
Yeah.
It wasn't a straight curve to sort of like just regulate it in the last bit. Like here, I don't think I would have a curve like that. I think I would just have it completely linear.
No, this feels good as it is. I think you'd learn to, you'd grow with the pedal, and there'll be things that you'll want to adjust along your journey, but for now, this feels great.
Nathan, shall we wrap it up?
Yeah?
Yeah, yeah. Because the battery's on last legs, and we'll get our microphones. Yeah,
I'll press the button by accident. Yeah, this, like, just then I went quiet because I was just...
in the zone.
I was getting into it, and they're very, very easy to push consistently to a level that you want.
I think it's addictive because you're like, okay, I can do this. What about if I try this?
Yeah.
What about if I try this?
Like this, yeah, I feel like I can just start playing with those final percentages. Like if I break at 90% one lap, break 91% the next lap, 92% the next lap, 93% lock up. Okay, I bring it back to 92. I feel like I'm able to register those forces in my brain.
Yeah, I think
and put them into the pedal.
the best way I can put it is like it's what you want your brain to do. Like just your brain is going along here, and the brain's like, I want to decelerate like this.
Yeah.
It just is an extension of you.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that doesn't happen with load cells, but we know it definitely doesn't happen always with like potentiometers because it's like, I didn't mean to do that, but it's kind of. I think what we should do for you is you should do AC at Brands Hatch because you could set a quick time there. We'd do Radicals at Alton Park, right? And BMW M2 at Donington in AC, iRacing and ACC. And we should come up with some stuff that we know that we're... Like, I probably know my Monza time, like 223.
Yeah.
Or you can look at whatever race you did last, like, and then look at the stream. But I think we should do that because I'm really trying... We haven't even, like, really gone into these. So.
I think we should all try and set a time on our own rig at home.
Yeah.
Learn more about it and experiment more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.